Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Digna.
Welcome to Relationships.
We're a couple having a few.
You can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, and it's facebook.com/a couple having a few. On Instagram, we are instagram.com/getting to know brews. And you can find us on YouTube. Our channel name is Getting to Know Brews. If you want to reach out to us via email, you can email us at drinkndrive@icloud.com. That's drinkndrive@icloud.com. You said it couldn't be done. I said it couldn't be done.
I didn't say anything.
I just said it as I was saying it, so I did just say it couldn't be done. But this is our 50th episode.
Dun, 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 dun.
50.
Sorry. Sorry. We're an old show.
I mean, 50 episodes is a lot of episodes. That's a lot of Joe and Dig relationship right there. Started from our very first episode, Gintroduction.
Hello.
Every episode that we've done, I've tried to come up with some sort of a name. Not just episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, etc. So,
like boring old Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. Today is exactly 2 years since a Facebook message went out saying that it was our quarter hundo, our 25th episode.
Yeah.
So
it's taken us 2 years to double that number.
Yes. So
That's
this is episode 50.
50 hundo.
Half a hundo?
Half a hundo.
Half a hundo. A Hyundai. So 50 episodes. I don't know. It's kind of neat because we've made it a point to do this many times.
Not consistently.
Not consistently.
But this many times.
But exactly. So you could say, well, at least you guys are consistent. Well, we're not even consistent. We've just done it.
We're in it for the long haul, not the U-haul. You write that down.
I don't have anything to write with. Then remember it.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
And in our quarter hundo episode, I think we were drinking
Samuel Adams Oktoberfest, as one does this time of year.
Yes. But I decided we would do kind of, this is a milestone kind of thing. So, like when your first wedding anniversary.
Is St. Adams Oktoberfest.
No, but it was like, no, what is it? Paper? Your wedding anniversary? Your first one?
Yeah.
And then all 50 or more years have something. It's like, oh, it's your gold anniversary or your. So that's what we're doing here. So this is for the 25th, it was Sam Adams. Now we've upgraded to Malibu.
We are just drinking Malibu tea.
Malibu with
we're classy that way.
With the ice,
the whiskey.
The whiskey cubes.
Yes.
So it is.
They're not, wait, let me rephrase. These are not cubes of whiskey. These are like the metal cubes of ice that you put in whiskey that doesn't water down your whiskey.
It'll cool down your whiskey, but it won't water it down. So yes, we are sipping. So we're kind of fancy out of Tervis tumblers.
What has happened in our life?
Which, speaking of these Tervis tumblers,
that is excellent room temperature Malibu rum.
It's marginally cooler, but these tumblers, these exact tumblers,
are 50 years old.
They've got to be at least almost 40 at least. So I was going through some old VHS, and I'm going through the time and labor intensive task of transferring them over to digital format. It's an event.
Very slow event.
So one of the things, you kind of watch some of the videos that you record, and there's a video of my cousins and I here in 1988 at the house, and we're drinking.
Which is what, like 20 years ago?
Exactly. So, but we're drinking out of these same tumblers that we're drinking now. So they have definitely got some life in them.
They're a tale as old as time, like everything in this house.
But does that mean these are living tumblers? middle-aged
hope so.
tumblers.
Oh, I thought you meant like in the Beauty and the Beast.
Well, because the tumblers would have been living, that's why.
Yes.
Was that not Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
I was right then, right?
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Tale as old as time. That's Beauty and the Beast, right?
They're living tumblers, and I said, I hope so. Like Chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why was he... Well, I guess he was still a kid because...
They just stayed the same age. They didn't like.
But it wasn't even
get
a long
older.
time.
Listen, man.
Because he was cursed when he was like 12 or something like that. So he was like in his... So was he born? Was he conceived as a tumbler? Had he never been human? Chip?
I don't know. He was like 6.
Yeah.
Like a 6-year-old, so that's perfect, right?
But if it'd been like a decade or more...
But they didn't get older.
So does that mean...
Like he was 6 when it happened. I'm sticking to nobody who turned into a thing got older.
Or they did get older and they were going about their lives and the teapot got it on with...
With what?
The coffee pot, I don't know.
But there's no parts. That doesn't make sense.
So Chip at some age would have turned from a small glass. He would have turned into like
a
cup.
No.
Yes, and then like as he got older, he would have turned into something else, some other type of serving thing. Maybe
what the entire
maybe when he was first born, he was like a teaspoon.
You're ridiculous.
And then it's like,
nothing was changing. They all stayed the same, like everything in this house. I'm just gonna keep coming back to that. Yes.
You're wrong.
No.
100% wrong. We've got to look more into the
fan theory.
The fan theories of what happens with Beauty and the Beast specifically.
I don't know that I'm going to expend any energy doing that, but you go for it.
Yes. Well, if you're listening to this, you've probably listened to other episodes of ours.
I'm sorry.
In the past. And that's also something that came out of a recent episode. So
Did that stay in the episode?
I don't know.
I didn't say I'm sorry. I said sorry.
We were recording an episode and my phone wasn't on silent, so that's probably my fault. But the reason my phone made a noise is because somebody was only half paying attention to the episode and was going through the notes on her phone, and we have a shared note. She updated it.
If I have an apostrophe, I have to write it down.
Hot an apostrophe.
And I probably had something that I was important that I remember that I had to put in my note.
I think she put on, like, we needed butter.
Might have been. It was important. I needed it.
I need butter. But yes, so what happened is my phone went bling, and then she followed it with
sorry. And now that's his ringtone.
So now anytime I get a message, it goes bling, sorry. And it's a tale as old as time.
It's hilarious every time.
Every single time. Unless I'm getting texted left and right by people, or I'm somehow in a group text. It's like, sorry.
I fail to see the problem.
Well, I make you apologize for saying sorry so much. But no, it's good. So one of the things I wanted to go after in this episode is the past. We'll go with the ghost of podcast past.
Podcast past.
Do you remember? Here's something. I know a lot of this stuff.
In the past.
Do you remember the name of our first episode?
Introductions.
And which is a mixture of
Guinness and introductions, because we were drinking Guinness.
Good.
Was it around St. Patrick's Day? I'm assuming why we had Guinness.
It was, absolutely. What is our most popular episode?
You've mentioned this a few times. I don't know if it's still the same, but it was the Veterans Day one.
Yep. And which one was that called?
No idea.
Veterans Unite. And that was with her dad. So that is...
I wonder if that one, like introductions was literally a word you made up. Mm-hmm. But like Veterans Unite, I feel like if you were looking for some sort of like veteran-based group of some sort and you typed in the word Veterans Unite into Google or whatever, and all of a sudden like your third thing that I'm just going to say we're the third one that pops up there. I do wonder if that's why it got more clicks, where people are like, what's this podcast, Veterans Unite? Oh, it's a podcast about veterans. And then they listen to it and they're like, shit, it's not.
I mean, it was. That episode was.
I mean, yes, but it was not like this is a podcast about veterans uniting, and please join us. And we continue to talk about veterans.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do another episode, Veterans Unite 2, with a veteran.
To what?
And to see if that one becomes like the second most popular. And then all of mine are going to be, then all the episodes' names are going to be Veterans.
I mean, hey.
Desmond something something. Veterans blah blah blah.
Veterans Unite with Desmond. Veterans Unite on this date. And
So
you will get lots of clicks.
And what is, I know you need a list in front of you. I probably should have had the list. But because you know the names of all of our episodes. Yeah.
Just disprove that.
I was going to say, what is your favorite name?
Well, I think the silliest name was the one that you came up with. That was the
I can't
series
remember.
of unfortunate events that was like a list of unharmonious catastrophes or something like that. And I don't even remember what it was about. Obviously, a list of many bad things that happened, but I don't remember what they were. So... let it go. Let it go.
Let go, let go. Yeah, I actually forgot about that name. I'm very proud. That's honestly the one I would be most proud of, I think. Because I come up with all the names, so I'm actually very proud of that name.
What was the one you were going to say?
I kind of forgot about it. Now it's that one.
Can't copy me.
I can copy. I mean, they're all my children, if you think about it. They all came from me. They came from me.
Wow. You got to be paying, like, a lot.
Alimony.
No, the other thing. Child support.
Whatever. Well, I probably got to pay that, too. Whatever, Russ.
Yeah, so 50 episodes. Sounds very epic. And it's not epic. But I do think it's interesting that we're recording it on the second anniversary of our 25th episode.
Yeah. I mean, it's taken a minute. We started from the bottom, now we're here. By the way, this is our... as far as seasons go, this is season 3 that we're in right now.
Trace.
So, as far as favorite episodes, like actual like favorite ones to have done, what I like is maybe not a specific episode, but the episodes. The ones that stick out, I guess, the most. Like, when we went over to the Tartaro's house, Tartaro.
Well, that sticks out because we weren't home.
Right, so we weren't at home, so it was like a new change of scenery, right. And
I was gonna say those are the ones I remember most. That one, or those, I guess it was 2 episodes, but 1 visit.
Yeah,
or and like then, when we went to go visit my mom,
and then when our St. Louis friends came down, those were good. So like all the ones that are just not your
the ones that weren't just the 2 of us.
Well, the good thing is like when it's just the 2 of us. We kind of like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about this time? Oh man, we should talk about this. Maybe we should do this. And
then we don't talk about any of it.
These other ones were like, we're just going to talk about that other person.
If you have a room with 4 people or more, there are more voices, more minds kind of.
Well, that's what I mean. Time. Like for you and I being the ones coming up with the source material, it's almost like a vacation episode. It's like, oh, we're just going to talk about its relationships. We're going to drink with you, and then we're just going to be like, how did you guys meet? And boom. So
also, we just know each other so well, and we just are so in tune with each other that we barely have to say things. And we just know.
Yeah, we can finish each other's
sandwiches.
Exactly. That's real love right there. All right, so that's the past.
Sandwich.
So now let's go to the present. The present. We had Hurricane Ian. We did an episode. We
did. That one was a little somber and kind of...
I'm not sure if I'm going to release it or not.
It wasn't my favorite. I would say if there was a least favorite, that might be it.
That would be how... It
was
feels...
just kind of... Like, we tried to force it, and I think we didn't have any long-lasting effects from Ian. Thank goodness. Not sad about that. But we kind of build it in our heads as, like, this is the post-hurricane episode. Nothing happened. Ta-da!
Exactly.
And so it was kind of, we didn't have anything to report, which I am, again, very grateful for. But
I think I went off on some sort of weird tangent, too, about...
Definitely went off on a weird tangent.
About, what was it? Victim shaming.
Yes, and that got awkward for everyone.
Yeah. So, yes, I went off on a weird little tangent.
So if that episode doesn't go out, just FYI, Hurricane Ian was not bad for us. Thankfully, our backyard flooded a ton. We got a bunch of twigs and berries in the yard blowing around.
No berries were harmed.
Joe picked up all the twigs and berries.
And trust me, I had my hands full.
Oh, grips.
Wait.
Yeah, and it's a week later now from the hurricane, and our backyard's dry, and our pool is back, refilled. We've cleaned it. Like, everything's good.
I did probably jump the gun on mowing the backyard, though.
Yeah.
Because it looks like somebody...
Donuts.
It looks like somebody was holding, like, the Monster Jam or something on, like, a regular soccer field, and, like, what it would do to, like, a grass field. And
it's not destroyed by any means. It'll be fine in a week or two, but there's definitely some donut marks back there. I don't even know if you went around in multiple times or just that one time around.
No, I did.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, it was fun.
Are you just like testing the new lawnmower?
There was enough water in there. I could hear the engine. It was like, so I had to like disengage the blade for it to.
There's no reason for that.
No reason. But it was very fun.
Well, that's good.
Listening to my 60+ hour audiobook.
This is the only reason he got himself a lawnmower, guys, so he can listen to his very long audiobooks without me hassling him about it.
Oh, if there's a silver lining
we went on a tangent. The hurricane?
For the hurricane.
Or the boring episode?
No, the hurricane itself. Not the episode that may never see the light of day. That would be the first episode that we completely pulled.
Trash it. Cutting room floor.
An entire episode.
Listen, we'll release that episode when we get to 100.
What we'll do is...
That'll be our 100th most boring episode.
When we have... We'll save this for the content, the lost episodes. So if we do like a Patreon or something, because we get so big and we're trying to get paid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even when I say getting paid, even paying for our hosting fees, which means this doesn't make any money, but it breaks even. It doesn't lose me any money either, I guess. That I would feel like that was a successful podcast.
Sure.
But I don't think we're anywhere near that point because some people don't tell their friends to listen to our episodes. I don't know.
Hi, Tyler.
Damn. Was that a bus? She just threw him on?
It's a throwback in front of the bus. I threw you back in front of the bus.
And as far as things, this is like a past, present, and future. We have
Ghost of Christmas Everything.
Yes. So we had like little extra segments. Like in the beginning, we did pod decks where we asked these questions,
and nobody answered them.
Yes, thanks for all of that. Nobody's. And then I kind of got away from that, and I don't think we did anything for a little while. And then,
I don't know that we did anything for the second season.
Yeah,
I think we did the podcast.
Well, my grandfather passed.
Yes.
Then we did. We started
part
something.
Of the second season had the Papa-isms.
Papa-isms, and I mean there are more Papa-isms out there that he's said, but it's we got the big ones, and anything else would be like kind of scraping the barrel.
I think those will be more fun to kind of holler back to if we happen to use them. Like not just to,
maybe not an entire segment.
Yeah, just not necessarily like sit and like ruminate about it and try to remember why we used it, but like if it happens to come up, we can kind of
great forever
throw it in there. See, you're just forcing it now.
You know better.
I do. I think both of those actually were covered.
What are you saying?
That one was not covered.
That was, by the way, it's going to be covered now. What are you saying? My grandfather was hard of hearing. And sometimes that's what he would say. Like, if you're like, so I was at the store there. He'd go, what are you saying?
Put his hand to his ear, because Joe keeps putting his hand to his ear, but you can't see him.
Well, they can hear the sound of these ears flapping when I touch them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But what are you saying? That's what that was. So that was the past.
Past to present.
The most ancient one was definitely the
pod decks.
Was the pod decks, and then fairly presently we've been using Papa-isms, and we're kind of starting to move away from that. So a few episodes won't in the third season, but starting at episode 50, we are going to have. I was going to do a drum roll on the desk, but then it's going to sound like
drum roll, please.
Yeah,
drum roll.
Joy to the world.
If you know what that's from, you win.
What do you win?
Nothing.
The awesome. No, you do win something.
Sorry.
The awesome knowledge that you have seen that movie enough times.
That's true.
So that's you're like, wow, I have seen that movie a lot of times.
I mean, I feel superior to everyone.
Obviously. So yes, the future holds kiddiums.
Kiddiums.
Is
there like a catchphrase with that? Wait, if you haven't seen Free Guy, we're just going to put
catchphrase.
Catchphrase. We'll be back with a catchphrase.
Maybe that'll be the name of our episode 50. 50. Kiddiums. Catchphrase. So sometimes those titles only mean something to me, and I say mean something, but they made me giggle.
They only make sense to him.
They made me giggle, so boom.
Ta-da. But yes, Kiddiums will be a little segment where... Am I supposed to tell them what it is?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to, give a big secret or anything.
It's a kid idioms.
Kid idioms. We don't think our kid is an idiom.
He's a smart boy.
Little sayings that we grow up hearing and using and understanding how to use them, but not necessarily knowing their origin or why we use them. And we thought it would be fun, or Joe thought it would be fun, to kind of do a role reversal with Desmond, because he's always the, why this? And how does this? And what is that? And whatever. Whatever the question is, whatever the question could be, he has. And for every unnecessary situation, he has a question. So Joe thought he would kind of flip the script on him. Flip the script on him and ask him some questions. So, we're old and wise and know stuff. And we kind of generally know the origins of these idioms, but he has no idea because he's 8 and has either never heard them or has not thought bigly enough to really think something through. And so Joe kind of interviews him with an idiom that you probably will recognize, and he gives us his best guess as to what the heck it means. So,
for instance, there are a couple different, and I know some sort of purists may say, this is an idiom and this is not.
And we don't care.
But we're just calling them all idioms. We're going to put them under that umbrella. And so these are going to be things like...
Don't put the cart before the horse.
That one was actually used.
Sorry.
Sorry. Well, I was going to say something like, for instance, the mundane reasoning for look both ways before crossing the street. Well, there might be an idiom like look before you leap would kind of cover that. And then I would give him an example kind of so if I said, and by the way, look before you leap is one we've not done at this point. Doesn't mean we won't. I say, what do you think look before you leap is? And Desmond might say something akin to make sure there's a trampoline under you when you jump or something. I don't know.
Or some weird
and then we're like, processing. Oh, that's a pretty good, yeah, I like that. So, and then we'd say, well, the reason for that is, you need to know what you're jumping into kind of thing. And then he's like, oh, okay, that would be the literal meaning. And sometimes I'll have a little bit of history. Like the first time it was used in William Shakespeare's blah, 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 blah. And, and just kind of get his take if I have that information.
Yeah, which not for everyone, but we found in all of the organizing and stuff around the house, we did find a sayings book.
Yeah, a book about... So sometimes it's just sayings.
So it has some historic value.
Dead as a doornail. I don't know why that happened. I feel like it's maybe a construction thing.
I want to... Did we already go over, he croaked? Did we go over that?
Yeah, we haven't.
I have no idea why we said that.
So it might be something like little sayings or why we use a specific term for that. So we're putting it all under there, but we're going to get Desmond's take on these things. And it's just going to be a little segment we do. I think this one probably will last a bit longer than the Papa Isms. Just one man's isms is kind of not as much as a book full of thousands and,
And kid brain creativity.
Yeah. So what we'll actually do is, and I've already recorded some of these kidioms, and we have them in episodes that I've already done before I even recorded this one. So episodes 52 and 3 or whatever. But these kidioms are going to be like a little segment. So I'll probably record, just say a dozen of them and insert them into episodes. So it may be an episode you're like, whoa, how did Desmond get in this episode? And we didn't just bring him in that day and record it at the time. So it did take some audio editing and things like that. And there might be like a weird there is an episode that Digna's not in.
What?
So it's going to be weird that you'll hear her voice like, wait, she was in this episode? Why didn't she talk the whole time? So
because he doesn't let me.
That's
Guys,
right.
help.
She's blinking her eyes. I think it's in Morse code, so that's why she needs help, because every time she blinks, that's what she does with her mouth. I got something on my eye. You should just say blink when you blink. 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 Wink. Blink. I closed only one. Yay, language. So that is our future, is going to be the Desmond, because I believe that children are our future. Not too much. We don't have the rights to that song.
I don't own the rights to that song.
I concur that the future is children. See, I can use that song all I want. I own the rights to that song. It is just different enough. But it is
something.
But I would say it is darn close.
Now it's time for kidioms.
All right, Des, what do you think it means when someone says you are wet behind the ears?
Sticky.
Wet behind the ears. Maybe when someone gives you a wet willy?
Maybe when someone gives
Why
you a
would
wet
they
willy.
give you a wet willy?
And what is a wet willy?
They lick you either behind the ear or in the ear.
Nobody's licking an ear. You lick your finger
Yeah, you do this.
and put it in someone's ear.
So your finger is wet and you go in the ear.
No tongues were injured by ears
Yes.
in this episode.
So yes, that's a wet willy, and you wouldn't do it behind the ear. It's usually in the ear. So wet behind the ear actually does not have to do with bullying or anything like that. So being wet behind the ear is usually alluding to somebody's inexperience or youth.
Oh.
So what happens is, oftentimes, this is actually when a baby, we'll just say a calf, is born. When they come out, they're wet.
All babies are wet.
Yeah.
Like all babies are wet when they come out. And they dry, their body dries, and supposedly the last part to dry is behind the ears. So
Interesting.
wet behind the ears is specifically saying you are young.
Okay.
So if
Don't
you
have a lot of life experience.
yeah, so it could be young or it could be inexperienced. So it's like specifically at a brand new job, and it's like, oh, how long you've been doing this job for a long time? I said, nah, he's wet behind the ears. That means he just got a job. So a lot of people don't know why they say it, and that's what idioms are. People don't know exactly why they will say.
Where the meaning came
Yeah,
from, but
they
they
don't-
know that they
yeah.
use it for a certain reason.
So wet behind the
Very
ears.
interesting. Very interesting as he wiggles one of his 3 loose teeth. La, la, la.
Wet behind the teeth.
Barely.
I think that's most people wet behind the teeth.
Barely 3.
Barely 3 teeth. All right. He have more than 3 teeth, just not more than 3 wiggly. How about this one? Riding the high horse.
Ooh, I'm not sure. If I know
Riding
this
the
one.
high horse?
Riding the high horse. So what you think it means, and I'll let you know what it means and kind of where it comes from.
Having a hard time getting on a really hard tall horse.
Riding the high
Easy.
horse.
So that would be like failure to ride the high horse.
Can I guess what riding the high horse is? I don't know.
Okay,
if
let's
I've
hear it.
even heard this one. riding the high horse, like, you know more than everyone?
I mean,
Like,
it's
like being up on your high. I know people say like you're up on your high horse.
Yeah.
And you know.
I mean,
what
it's not
everyone-
necessarily that you actually know more than them, but it's you act as though you do. That's like
think you
like
think you know better.
like we call somebody komeduki kind of thing. It's like so someone who thinks they're better than everybody. So it's
Okay.
like, oh, he's on his high horse. Maybe they are better. I don't know. They could be, but they definitely not only do they think it, or not only. Yeah, is it something they may or may not be, but they definitely
They
think it.
Okay, so riding the high horse.
Riding the high
is
horse.
the act of thinking you're better.
Yeah, so it's like,
Okay.
it's like, oh, look at him riding his high horse because he's hot. Another one they might say is high and mighty, something like that. Where do you think that came from? So
Like,
riding.
why do you think people started?
Yeah, why
saying
would you
that?
say riding the high horse? How does that mean? Oh, he thinks he's better than us.
Like, maybe think about who rides horses.
A cowboy?
Maybe a little further back.
Oh, now she knows.
Now I get it. So now I.
So what would have happened way back, like when people fought with swords, not guns?
Indigenous?
Indigenous?
Indigenous is a great word.
That is a.
There may have been indigenous people who rode their high horse.
So I'll tell you where it started as. So what happens is
Civil War?
maybe
I
Civil
love
War.
all of these references. They're amazing. Further back than that.
So people back during like knights and swords and stuff like that,
Yeah.
the knights would have been on
It's a
not
horse, yes.
not just a horse, but a high horse, or a bigger horse. So there are horses, and then there are horses.
And
So
the horses had armor.
yeah, exactly. So do you think
why they had
armor?
to be
Do you think armor weighs a little bit?
It weighs a lot.
So a lot. So something. You need a high horse, a big horse to carry all that armor, to carry a guy wearing all this armor on there. So riding the high horse means like usually you're like a knight or someone with money.
Nobility.
So you're
like,
special,
think
or
of
at
like
least
a king and queen. They would have ridden like the best horses in the land.
If a wimpy guy was a knight in his armor, he would be like, ouch! Booties!
To a wimpy guy, a wimpy horse. They
yeah. Oh yeah. Could you imagine if they would have if they put a knight on a small horse? What do you think would happen?
The horse would be like, "Bleh."
He'd be walking next to his dead horse. That's what would happen.
He'd be carrying his horse.
Exactly.
We're sitting in our back, I guess, Florida room, sunroom.
No, it's a Florida room.
Florida. Why would I call it a Florida room?
Because you're from Jersey, obviously.
Oh, I am. That's true. So we're in our Florida room that has got these like swivel out windows that are really nice, and it's got nice big huge screens. And now that it's not oppressively hot, it's quite nice.
Well,
yeah, I don't know if you remember
that was an episode recently.
Yeah,
where
I was gonna say I don't know if you remember that we tried to sit out here for an episode, or we did sit out here for our first episode here when we had moved in, and it was oppressive. It was very, very hot, and it was nighttime, and it was still hot. And we had run the little AC that's in here in preparation to do the episode, and we were still like sweaty by the time we left. But it's been no warmer than I'd say 80, maybe 85 for the past week or so, which for here is glorious, and the humidity's been relatively down. So thanks, Ian, for that. It's actually not the hurricane's fault. There was a cold front coming at the same time, which is what actually pushed it down in our direction and back up along the coast.
All that sexy meteorology talk.
But yeah, so it's
I'll never think of the Weather Channel the same. Jim Cantori.
Jane Cantori. But yeah, it's cooled down quite a bit. So this room is nice. It's super nice, but it comes with extra noise, like dogs barking and helicopters flying overhead, and just the lull of 95 in the background. That's the highway.
Word. Or my way. All right. And there was something else I was going to say about this 50th episode. Other than I'm still very,
Past, present, future idioms.
Yeah, I'm still very amazed that we've done 50 episodes. And
they haven't been total crap.
I don't think they've been total crap. These, like I was saying,
I think we're funny.
Like I was saying with the title of the episodes. Those are my babies. Well, so are the episodes. And apparently I have enough babies that I don't remember all of their names.
All right, Nick
I feel that... Am I right? Yeah, I might have too many children. But yeah, I'm very happy with doing these episodes. I'd like to do more. And if you'd like to be a guest, I wouldn't mind doing that either.
Because we clearly need more people for it to be memorable and fun.
Exactly, because I don't remember things that are
boring and not fun.
That.
Yeah.
Well played, madam.
Word.
50 episodes.
You're old.
I think we're gonna keep the bye at the end. Like
even though we're like
forever.
Quote unquote over.
Say quote unquote.
I have to say quote unquote. It's very cute. Desmond, there are a few things that Desmond still says that are childish. Or that he hears them wrong, so he repeats them incorrectly. And it's just, they're adorable. So quote, unquote, like when you quote something and do the quote fingers, he says it's quota, quote. Not that he knows what the word quota means. He just hears quote unquote. And so when he gets
quote,
really
unquote.
upset and he is quote unquote repeating what the person said, it's just freaking adorable.
He's getting better at the usage of
I know.
Quote unquote. Like,
I hate it.
Like how to use it. I mean, Can you say the quote unquote subject matter expert? So he would say quote unquote, but he's getting better at knowing when to use it. Because I remember when he first started using quote unquote, it was wrong. It's like, it's my quote unquote birthday. I'm like, no, it is your birthday. So, so he's like, it's my birthday.
Sarcasm is difficult to learn, and he is quite fluent.
Well, guess what?
So.
I'm teaching a master class. Booyakasha, respect.
Quote unquote, not. Wait.
By the way, if this gets released before then, I don't know. If you are following us on social media and you know my actual non-professional handles, I say professional, am I right? But yeah, if you're my Facebook friend or whatever.
Or whatever. If you've heard of me.
If you know my name, then come on by. Yeah, we're going to host a watch party for E.T. in our backyard.
Yes, we are. In 2 weeks, hitherfore 2.
Is it only 2 weeks?
I have no idea. No, maybe 3.
I'll say, because this is going to go out after that episode.
No, it's 3.
Okay. Well, if you hear this, I'm sure nobody's going to hear it before then. But hey, you know what? If you're that random person in Germany that I think listens to our episodes, yeah, and because it's like Oktoberfest, so come on down.
It won't be by the time we have the viewing.
Come on, man.
Anyway, what he was trying to say is that we have an inflatable screen, we have a projector, we are going to have popcorn in the backyard. It's huge. Bring your mosquito suit. And we are going to watch E.T. 3 days before Halloween. Dress up or don't. Please have clothes on. Either way.
Yes, dress up. And if you don't dress up, just dress.
Just please dress. But what he was trying to say earlier about saying bye is that, for the past couple of years, because of COVID and all that shenanigans, we kind of catchphrase the don't be gross, wash your hands, kind of.
And Desmond started throwing it, and be safe. But he always said it, and be safe, or whatever.
Our little outro. So, COVID is still out there. Other germs are gross. So, wash your hands. Don't be gross.
And be safe.
Bye.
This has been a Getting to Know Bruce presentation. Music provided by purpleplanet.com. That's purple-planet.com.